Hello guys, how are you doing today? This is the 33rd episode of Python tutorial series. I hope you have watched the full episode of 32nd. If you have done that, this is just a continuation. In the example below, oh no, not above, it's below. The year 2019 should be a variable and passed into the student class when creating student objects. To do so, add another parameter in the init function. Okay, add a year parameter and pass the correct year when creating objects. Now, class student of person, def init self, f name, l name, year. Now super method dot init of fname and lname. So fname and lname are initialized through the super method, the parents init method, but year has been initialized as self.graduation year, another property. Now x equals to student, there are three arguments now, Mike Olsen and 2019. Let's do this ourselves. So class person, the parent class, def init self fname lname, self dot first name equals to fname, and self dot last name equals to lname. Now another function under the parent person class, def print name of self, print self dot first name comma self dot last name. Now the child class student person, okay, it is the student class now. So def init self fname lname and year, super method dot init of fname and lname, self dot graduation year equals to year. Now x equals to student of Mike Olsen and 2019. Print x dot graduation year. We just need the graduation year. That's all. Now add methods. Add a method called welcome. Previously we add a property. It was the graduation year property, but this time we are going to add a method called welcome to the student class. So class student of person, def init of self fname lname year, super method dot init of fname and lname, and self dot graduation year equals to year. Now this is the method we are talking about. Def welcome of self, print welcome comma self first name comma self dot last name comma to the class of comma self dot graduation year. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. So person is the the parent class, and this is the child class student. Let us read that one second. Class student of person colon def init of self comma fname comma lname comma year, super method dot init of fname comma lname, self dot graduation year equals to year. Now def welcome of self colon print welcome comma self dot first name comma self dot last name comma to the class of comma self dot graduation year. So it's gonna be when x equals to student of Mike Olsen and 2019, and if you call this method x dot welcome, the student's own method, then what's gonna be printed? Welcome Mike Olsen to the class of 2019. That's it. So how much time is left? Only 4 minutes gone, 5 minutes gone almost. If you add a method in the child class with the same name as a function in the parent class, the inheritance of the parent method will be overridden. So the thing is that you don't have to worry about the same being the same name in the child class, because through our inheritance it will be overridden. That's what. Test yourself with exercises. Okay, what is the correct syntax to create a class named student that will inherit properties and methods from a class named person? That's very easy. First of all, we have to write student, and S has to be in capital letter, uppercase, and inside it we will write person. Now if we submit the answer, oh gosh, it does not work. And why doesn't it work? Internet problem? No. What happened? It's correct. Okay guys, so let's go to the next chapter. Since it's only 6 minutes now. I pressed next, but it doesn't seem to work, although I have 4G internet connection. Now Python iterators. An iterator is an object that contains a countable number of values. An iterator is an object that can be iterated upon, meaning that you can traverse through all the values. Okay, and technically in Python, an iterator is an object which implements the iterator protocol, which consists of the methods underscore underscore iter underscore underscore pair of parentheses and underscore underscore next underscore underscore a pair of parentheses or round brackets. Now iterator versus iterable. Let's see what's the difference. List, tuples, dictionaries, and sets are all iterable objects. They are iterable containers which you can get an iterator from. All these objects have a iter method which is good, which is used to get an iterator. Okay, I return an iterator from a tuple, print each value. So my tuple equals to apple, banana, and cherry. Then my it equals to iter of my tuple. Now if you print next of my it, let's print next of my it. Let's print next of my it. I think apple, banana, and cherry will be printed in 3 separate lines. Okay. Even strings are iterable objects and can return an iterator. Okay. Strings are also iterable objects containing a sequence of characters. Like my str equals to banana, my it equals to iter of my str. Now if you print next of my it, first of all the first character B will be printed out, and B, A, and 6 different lines will be printed out. Looping through an iterator. We can also use a for loop to iterate through an iterable object. Iterate the values of a tuple. My tuple is apple, banana, cherry. For x in my tuple, print x. That's pretty neat. We saw that multiple times. Now it was iterate the values of a tuple. Now iterate the characters of a string. What is this topic? Looping through an iterator. We can also use a for loop to iterate through an iterable object. I think using for loop is quite easy. Iterate the characters of a string. My str equals to banana. Previously it was a tuple, but this time it's a string. For x in mystr colon print x bana will be printed out in 6 separate lines. The for loop actually creates an iterator object and executes the next method for each loop. Okay, I didn't know that. Now create an iterator. Should we continue this? This depends on how lengthy this particular thing is. I guess this is quite lengthy. Do not want to continue this any longer at the moment. So this was the 33rd. I welcome you to watch the 34th episode of Python tutorial series. Until then, have a great day.